Hello. So, anxiety. I'm just going to do like a whistle stop tour. I'm sure as you hear the word anxiety, you'll have your definition or a feeling, a sensation of what anxiety is. And I just think it's become one of those terms as well that we hear so much. Actually, do we know what's underneath? So we're just going to have a little look at what it is and what to do about it. Um, so basically, it is a really normal response to perceived danger. So, as you just mentioned, actually, about the cat's behaviour, there's like, oh, is she still alive? Let's wake her up. There's some perception of like seeking reassurance for safety because there's a perceived danger, which activates our fight, flight, freeze, fawn states. So it can be helpful, when you've got something to do, it gives you that like, I need to go and do this, but obviously ongoing can be really, really distressing. So we've got this tiny little, it's called the amygdala, like right mid-brain. And this is the if you think of it like our smoke alarm in the center of the brain. But that's what will trigger, that's what's responsible for our brain body connection. So if we have the thought or we feel like, oh my God, this feels a bit sketchy, I don't feel safe, our amygdala will sound the alarm and the adrenaline increases, the heart rate increases. So things like public speaking, a job interview, waiting for test results, moving house, you can have this kind of something big's happening. So it shows up, and I'm kind of thinking about how it shows up for you, because it's very personalized. Mine's like my foot will start going, and sometimes that tells me like I'm anxious, so my body can fire before my brain. So we always think, so I thought forever that it was because I originally trained in like CBT, that it was all like the thought, and thoughts do create feelings that create the response. But sometimes our body, even if you get these headaches right up the back of your head, this is like low level anxiety, not that immediate. Um, Temple headaches, like this, my foot goes. Um, I'm like, oh, okay, my body's telling me to take a minute. But physically, we can get that rapid heartbeat, we can get sweating, we can get tense muscles, headaches, and we have fear emotionally. It is that fear, that dread, but also that irritability, itchy, scratchy. Um, Cognitively, the racing thoughts. So it's almost like your thoughts are going so quick. You need to create that barrier. I will talk more about how in a little bit, but it's almost like you're thinking about everything. It's, you're kind of down those rabbit holes, and um, you have to kind of pause and go, what am I thinking about? Because there's so much, and it's racing, and poor difficulty, um, difficulty concentrating, and but we can, so this like freeze state, so we've talked, like there's a lot of talk about fight flight, um but freeze is where like behaviorally we will just freeze, we'll procrastinate, we'll avoid, we might fidget a little bit, um but just not do anything. So if you think of like, when you see like a beetle or a woodlouse on their back and their legs are going, but they're going nowhere. like that's a state I can like really relate to when I'm just like, oh, like I don't know what to do next. I'm just gonna kind of lie on my back and my legs are representing my brain. Nothing's really happening. Um, Procrastination is a big one. And I'm sure you've all had those kind of like at different times, those symptoms. So some of the techniques, and this I feel like, yes, we're going back to basics, but also I think what I've learned massively over the last only couple of weeks really is my assumption of knowledge. Like I assume that, oh yeah, that person's done my course. They know all of this. When I do a course, I take two, three main points and they will stay, they will embed and I will embody them. And that will change. But then there's loads of information that I just forget. So I thought might be really useful to revisit some of these. So the grounding technique. Um, so the 5 4 3 2 1 grounding. So, and you can do this now. And it's always good, as I say, always do it when you're out for a walk and you're feeling fairly chilled. Um, don't wait for it to be crisis point. All these techniques, this is the problem that we get to, is like, it's like, oh my God, it's getting bad now. What are those techniques again? And they're so much harder to drop into when we're like getting all of this information and we're in a heightened state of awareness. If we can just practice these little things like most days, and it becomes like a little bit of a habit. So just thinking about 5 things that you can see. So just kind of do that now, like the 5 things that you can see. 4 things that you can touch. And I'm aware that when you're in potentially a work environment, you may be driving, if you're limited, it is, it can be your face, it can be your hands, it can be your hair, it can be your clothes. But yeah, 4 things you can touch, 3 things that you can hear. Now this really drops me a little bit deeper. This is where I go. Because generally our brain will go, we can only hear traffic surface level, like we can hear the loudest. If you really just drop into that sense of auditory, it's the washing machine, the kitchen, it's the traffic, and it's the bird. But yeah, just deeper into the 3 things you can hear. And another one that really deepens this is 2 things that you can smell. Because initially you go, oh, can you smell one thing at a time? Smell the incense burning. There's usually another, I'm not getting one, I've just got the incense burning, it's quite strong. But it might be like your fabric softener or your shampoo. So you might have to find that second scent, maybe some oil or perfume or something. And one thing that you can taste. And this is a really good thing for confusing the senses, is like having a hard-boiled sweet or something, or like popping some more stimulation into these senses to take it away from the thought of anxiety. So there's an interruption. And plus having a small snack is really, really good for anxiety, because we do not eat when we're under threat. And so this sends a massive safety signal to our body. And I know that when we are anxious, the last thing we want to do most of the time is to eat. But if you can have a small snack, it tells our body like, oh, okay, like, oh, we're eating and digesting food, like we must be okay. Because it's not anything primitive that we would have done. Kind of thinking of running from bears, you're not going to stop and collect some berries and eat them. So it really gives that body like, oh, hang on a minute, the amygdala's firing. This could be a faulty smoke alarm because we're eating and we are, you all know this one, breathing. So box breath, and maybe we could just do this together now. But let's just like inhale for a count of 4. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. And repeat. Inhale for 4. Hold. Exhale. And hold. Really simple. Imagining that box of 4, you can do variations. So when you do make the exhale longer than the inhale, that's a really lovely safety sign to our body as well. So you might want to do 4, 5, and then an exhale of 6. So you can do like a triangle breath. 4, 5, 6, have a play around. Essentially, don't get caught up in the numbers or what you should be doing or the technique. Just simply deepening that breath, slight hold, and a slow exhale. Again, is going to send that little love note to your body to go, it's all right. We're going to be okay. Reframing the negative thoughts. I can't do this. I can't do it. Oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do this. To, like, I'm prepared. I'm going to do my best. It's all we need. It's all we need to hear. As soon as we're telling ourselves, oh my God, I can't do this. I really can't do this. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to work. Oh, not only we can get so far into a funk, it's like a slippery eel. Like, no, it's not like slippery eel, but it's like that. You constantly, it just keeps going. It can go off on that starting block at 100 miles an hour. Once it's gone, it's harder to get back the further it's gone. So catching this really early, paying attention to what you're saying, really is helpful. And even like, this one, like, oh my God, I don't want to do this PT session. You've quickly kind of rescued that and reframed it with, I know I'm going to feel better afterwards. That's great. And it's that like, oh my God, I can't do this, I can't do this. But you will do it. You've done it before, and by, a certain time, you can be sat outside with a cup of tea or whatever it is. But really, yeah, I've prepared, I've tried my best. I'm here, I'm at the start line, I'm going to give it my best shot. Like, this will be fine. And then also like sleep habits. So these are your long-term maintainables, which I truly believe, and there is like loads of research. This isn't just me like thinking of ideas. But sleep, hydration, and social connection. Because when we get in a little bit of a funk, we stop listening to our body. We might listen to the like, oh my God, my heart's thumping, or like I can't breathe. We might listen to those signals, but when we're talking like more longer term anxiety, it's like, I've just got to get through today. The first thing to go could be like sleep, looking after ourselves. but also like that overwhelm. Like I don't even want to see anyone because I'm so overwhelmed. But actually, that social connection really, really helps us. It helps us distract. It gives the opportunity for people to reassure us. And if we can speak what we're anxious, what we're going through, it releases us of, like, unburdens us of the worries, but also that kind of collective consciousness. So we've got personal consciousness and we've got collective consciousness. So if we're the one person here going, oh no, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it, and that collective consciousness around us is like, totally gonna smash this. Your personal consciousness goes, oh, okay, like it raises us up. So, and hydration, key. Like energy levels, the way, like, yeah, the everything I can't bang on about water enough. And sleep. And I know that it's hard, it can be hard, especially when you're anxious, like dropping off to sleep or staying asleep, especially if you've got a cat demanding treats on the hour. But really, like, having that time in bed. So don't get anxious if you're lay there thinking, oh my God, I can't sleep, I can't sleep. You need to kind of be in bed for 7 hours minimum, I think. I know people say like 6 to 8. I mean, again, it does depend on you. For me personally, 7's my minimum. Like, I'm not functioning on like 6 hours sleep for more than 3 days. It all gets a little bit. So yeah, really, but thinking of it as like restful time if you are experiencing sleep difficulties, and things like magnesium, having that bedtime routine, putting yourself to bed, like an actual routine of like a nice bath and some lavender oils and your book, no screens, and having that set amount of time in bed if sleeping is a massive issue, and just really reassuring yourself with the fact that my body's benefiting from this rest. Okay. Setting boundaries, saying, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm going to take a break at this time. It's really, really good, because when we're anxious, typically we have a lot to do, not all the time. But for me, it's when I'm overloaded, I'm overwhelmed, so don't stop. Because I haven't got time to stop. That's what I tell myself. But we're all so much more productive after a break. Just taking those like 5 minutes, 10 minutes to reset, do some grounding, do a little bit of breath work. We get that clarity, start to clear the mist from our mind, and we're much, much more productive. So when people are stressed, that is like, I haven't got time to meditate, I haven't got time to breathe. It's like you need to make time, because, yeah, the wheels are going to come off if you keep going. And then there's also there's the apps like Insight Timer, Headspace, Calm. I just build up that daily 3-minute practice, and then you've all got a wealth of lovely meditations as well from Zoom recordings. So essentially, and I think as well, just like voicing feeling, okay, I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling unsettled, overwhelmed about something. Name it. This is like the biggest hack. Like, give it a name, like an actual name. As soon as we can. So what we tend to do with all the emotions that are like, oh, I do really feel this way. We want it to go away and push it into the shadows, and I just want to feel better. And what we need to do is identify with, so call your anxiety, like, I can't use names because Don't know whoever's going to watch the recording, but it's like, oh, that's mine. But let's say Gertrude. I don't know of any Gertrude. Yeah, my anxiety is called Gertrude. Um, she's not. She's called something else. But that kind of like, oh, hi, Bob, you're showing up again. Like, I know you're here to protect me. Have that little bit of compassion, because remember, anxiety is our safety mechanism of going, oh my God, are we safe? Are we safe? If you haven't watched Inside Out, definitely watch it. I know it's a kids' film, but oh my God, it was written with the help of so many like behaviorists and psychologists. It is my favourite film. But thinking about like what your anxiety looks like, what character, so that we can really connect a name and like, okay, Bob, I know that you're here, especially before speaking. It's all right, but can you just, we're not being chased by a bear. I've got this. I've prepared for this. We're going to be okay. Because our anxiety is there to seek reassurance, like the cats that are waking you up after you've been asleep for a while, to check for the reassurance. Our anxiety isn't here to like totally destroy us. Our anxiety is here to go, something's off. Oh, I'm freaking out. I think you should be freaking out. It's for us to master that anxiety. And also, if it is something prolonged, like with work, there should be like EAP programs, speaking about it, because it can be debilitating going on for a long period of time. We can set ourselves and really, because we get into like, oh my God, I've been feeling like this for weeks, really start to note it down. It could just be a happy face or a smiley face on a calendar. There's lots of apps that you can get on your phone. But if you're like, actually, do you know what, it's going to be normal for me moving into this new space, this new job, this new relationship, or whatever it is, that I might be a little bit anxious for about, I don't know, what feels normal for you, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. But monitoring it, and if it's getting worse, yeah, it might need some talking therapies, or more meditation, more breathing, more lying down in the forest. But anxiety is part of being human. It is, and actually, we have to kind of thank our body and our amazing brains a little bit for it, because it's our protector. But just understanding that smoke alarm can sometimes fire up at the wrong time. So we can work with it, not against it. So I'm going to end it here, and then we can regroup and have a little chat. And enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. There's blue skies. Like the washing's on, that's getting hung out, and it was forecast to rain all day. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent. Have a beautiful day.